Hello Monash music colleagues. This is a short tutorial on how to set up your audio settings for our music related needs on Zoom. This is a little bit the blind leading the blind, so forgive me if anything doesn't work as I say it should. The first thing I'm going to do is share my desktop with you. I was playing around with Jordan earlier with this, and what we found was that we were operating in different versions of Zoom. So the first thing I would probably suggest is going to monash.zoom.us and downloading the latest version. So the download button down here. And hopefully if you download here, Zoom Client for Meetings version 4.6.7, I'm running 4.6.6, but Jordan for some reason had 4.4. So hopefully if we're all on the same thing, you'll see what I'm seeing. If I go back to Zoom, the first thing I would suggest you do is you click next to the microphone here, your audio settings here. I would select same as system for both speaker and microphone. That way, whatever you do in your system preferences will be, Zoom will follow that, which I think is easiest rather than having to change things in two sections. The next thing is if you're playing audio files from iTunes or YouTube or anything like that, ordinarily, if I share with you, say my desktop, and I play a file, I Will Survive, feels like an appropriate track, you're going to hear audio coming out of my speakers back into my microphone, and it'll sound like this.
At first I was afraid, I was petrified, kept thinking I could never live with.
That probably doesn't sound very good, I don't think. So what I'm going to do is make a suggestion for how you go about sharing things. If I stop this share. So to get better audio quality, I'm going to share my screen with you again. So I'm sharing my desktop. If you click share screen and whatever window you want to share, you want to click share computer sound. So rather than playing out of the speakers, this will share with you the source of the sound as if you were playing that file on your own computer. You have to make sure that you have selected or you're sharing the screen that corresponds with the audio you want to share. So if I share the desktop, it'll share everything. If you just wanted to share one particular thing, you could share Safari and it would just share the audio from that source. So I'm going to go desktop, we'll share it. And I'll play I Will Survive again. And I'll even change my audio settings just to be sure. So I'm using, I'll keep the MacBook as the input, and the output will be the Zoom audio device. So I'm going to put my headphones on and hopefully it will play out on my headphones and not the speakers. We'll find out. So that sounded pretty good to me, and hopefully you were hearing the same audio I was. It's possible that if you click, that it came to my headphones because I clicked headphones first and then went Zoom audio device, which is the case because now it's playing out of my MacBook speakers. The main thing is to have Zoom audio device selected here in your sound settings. If it doesn't show up, which it wasn't for me before, I would just stop share and then shut your audio settings and then do new share and make sure share computer sound is selected. So that's one thing to be mindful of. The other thing that I think may be useful that came up when I was talking about it with Jordan is turning on original sound. So if you Google Zoom original sound, it gives you an explanation of what this is. Ordinarily, Zoom will compress sound and do echo cancellation and things, which is not very helpful for subtle instrumental things. You may want to play around with whether it sounds better with or without. To turn audio sound on, you firstly need to go back to monash.zoom.us and you need to sign in, and it'll prompt you to do that with your Monash account. You go down to your settings and go to, there's a whole lot of settings that are worth looking through everything and tweaking it so it's the way you want it. But if you go in meeting advanced, when we scroll down, there's a couple of settings in particular that are worth turning on. The first is allow users to select stereo audio in their client settings. So ordinarily Zoom will have mono audio. If you turn on stereo audio, then the participants on the other end will be able to listen in stereo if they want, which uses up more bandwidth, but there might be reasons if you're in CMT, we're sharing, session files or things like that in Ableton that we want to hear the left-right panning. The other thing to turn on is allow users to select original sound in their client settings. Make sure that's turned on. If you do that and then go back to Zoom, if you go to this little arrow, audio settings, audio, you should have, if you go to advanced here, and hopefully you see the same thing I'm seeing, show in meeting option to enable original sound from microphone. So if you turn that on, you'll see this up here, turn on original sound. And if I click that, the sound should change. You might not really hear it now, but I did a session with Aaron this morning where we were recording violin, and the compression or whatever was going on without original sound on was causing the violin to cut in and out. And when we turned original sound on, it made a big difference. So you might want to play around with what works best for your needs there. The other thing that Jordan was asking about was just if students wanted to record the sessions that you're doing. They can't turn it on themselves, but what you do is you go manage participants. This box would come up, you'd see someone there. There'd be 3 little dots here, and you click that and you'd select allow recording, and then that person on the other end will be able to start recording the session themselves. I hope that is useful. See you later.